X users may have to get out their wallet because the social media platform, formerly known as Twitter, is now charging a $1 annual user fee to people in the Philippines and New Zealand. This is a test designed to limit spam and bot accounts on the site. If it's successful, perhaps it would be exported to other countries. The company confirmed yesterday this trial subscription fee only for new and unverified accounts and will not apply to existing users like me and Brianna, who can't afford another single dollar.
All right. According to The Hill, it was unclear why at this time this only applies to New Zealand and the Philippines, or how those countries were chosen. The X support account tweeted yesterday, "This new test was developed to bolster our already successful efforts to reduce spam, manipulation of our platform, and bot activity while balancing platform accessibility with a small fee amount. It is not a profit driver." Okay, well, $1 for a year doesn't seem like much of a profit driver, although given the
for all the
enormous
people
losses,
in New Zealand.
Well, how many people in New Zealand? Yeah,
right, that's what I'm
there's
saying.
more
It's not
sheep
very
than
many.
people
Yeah.
in New Zealand or whatever, right? So exactly. And although this is I think that's true. But this is a pilot program, right? So the idea, if it went well here, it could go well globally. And maybe, I mean, like $1 for enough people, if you add enough people up, is a lot of dollars. But when you look at how much money Twitter has lost from advertising, no, it's not going to make up the balance. It's not going to be a drop in the bucket. Now, do you think this is actually well calculated to eliminate bots if a dollar amount is really so low that maybe you will just pay the fee?
Well, right. I mean, I think the logic is, going through that, it takes 5 seconds, but slightly cumbersome process of like registering a credit card information or PayPal or however you're going to pay, that extra step maybe disarms the people or whatever is creating bot accounts, because it's just time consuming. It's not time consuming for you if you're going to just do it once, but it takes time. I could also see it, putting a slight hurdle into creating a new account could also just deter actual human beings.
Right.
I don't know. Obviously, if X becomes a more in-demand place, or a place you want to spend significant time scrolling the feed, that's not very much of a deterrent to signing up. So I can sort of see the logic, but I don't know that it will work. It looks like Elon Musk, does want to move in the direction. He's talked about making it a kind of subscription service overall. He's clearly very comfortable with the idea of charging the existing users for services on the platform. I don't think that's necessarily or totally wrong, but I think it needs to be very clear, or ought to be clearer, what the benefit is, what the policies are, because some of these changes just get announced, walked back, announced again. We now no longer have headlines on photos, which is a change that I have yet to see a single person, even people who otherwise like Elon Musk, say has improved the user experience. It is, in fact, especially right now with the war going on, it seems particularly I'm not saying it's a conspiracy or something, or like they're trying to make information worse. It's just, it seems harder to tell what's going on.
So for folks who don't know, the change that he made was that whereas previously if you put a link to an article in a tweet, it would populate as an image usually, but with the headline in there, so you could see what the title of the article was. Now it just populates with whatever photograph accompanies the article with no text whatsoever. So you can do a tweet that says something like, Elon Musk secretly collects stuffed animals, and include an article that has a picture of Elon Musk, but there's no title. So it's not really clear if you're lying about Elon Musk and just made that up, or if the article that you've clicked is actual evidence of the thing that you're saying.
Yeah.
And so it's making it so that you have to screen grab the title of the article and put that in your tweet, or type it all out.
And honestly, if his goal is for people to be able to get most of their information on the platform and in the newsfeed itself without having to click through to links, this is totally counterproductive, because you have to click through
to see what
it actually says.
Yeah.
Whereas before you could, there's misleading headlines out there, but you could get a likely impression of what the article is about. Yeah. So I don't understand.
That is the worst thing.
I don't understand this change at all.
But back to the $1 fee. It is true that if you do not pay the $1, you can still look at Twitter. Forbes reports new users who opt out of the program will be limited to reading posts, watching videos, and following accounts as opposed to interacting through reposts, replies, and other features. And I do remember some statistic that showed that some very small percentage of Twitter users were responsible for the overwhelming majority of Twitter content, and that there are a lot of lurkers around. That basically it's like the 3% of journalists or whatever on Twitter are making all of the content, and most people never tweet a day in their lives. So are those people going to really be affected by this? Maybe not.
Yeah, I used to tweet a lot more, and then with all the kind of changes going on, my little check mark getting taken away, and with the deprioritization of news links in general, I just kind of stopped, and now, I don't know, I offer a thought every now and then, and I mostly just don't participate there anymore.
Yeah, well, I also do think that if you're an individual running a bot farm, I think part of the story of some of the whether it's the K-Hive bot farm or the Brock bot farm of the Hillary Clinton years, often these stories...
Say that 3 times fast.
Right? I think a lot of these stories that get really... the misinformation stories that get blown up by liberals, you look more closely and it turns out there were very few bots that made very few tweets and had very little effect. So I'm a little divided on that too. If it's such a big deal to have a small number of bots, well, that doesn't cost very much money. But if we're getting even into the 1,000 bot range, suddenly that is a little bit of a barrier to entry to actually doing it on an individual level. So maybe there is a there.
It would be great to grapple with and correct this problem, because I am noticing lately that I think a higher proportion of my new followers on Twitter are accounts that I can readily identify as bots, as fake. That they were newly created and don't have any posts, or are spammy, or are even pornographic.
Or all their posts are about one specific topic.
Yeah, so it is a problem, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. So we'll see if this is a solution or not.
If it expands beyond for the Philippines and the handful of people in New Zealand.
Other than just the sheep. Just the sheep. More Rising right after this.